I didn't record on Sunday. We were doing stuff around the house, and then we had a little family get-together barbecue thing. But the Blue RZR has the motor pulled out of it, and then we did some trade work with the local motorcycle shop that my brother works at, and got a 2021 RZR, pretty much same as this, just the newer version. And so we got that, and he yesterday pulled the motor out of the Blue RZR and then pulled the motor out of the one we traded for. And so that's the motor that's going back in the Blue RZR. Okay, that's the motor that's going back in the Blue RZR. And then we kind of got to go from there. But he's gonna slam this thing in tonight while I kind of just go over the car and check everything, check all the bolts, and kind of just crack check and make sure everything's good to go on it. I don't know if I said this in the last video, but Pop has his is starting to make his rear cage and bumper for it, and then my dad should be getting back from the shop here shortly and swap the wastegate solenoid on Harpo's car, and maybe go run this thing tonight before it gets too dark, because we do have lights. Then just gonna hope it's good to go, and if not, we gotta fix it. But I don't think I showed this in the last video, but the Pro R is here now. You can kind of see some of the damage there on the knuckle, and then kind of down there where the ball joint snapped. And that's the second time a ball joint snapping has taken us out of the running for second place in 2 different races. So there's a Geyser Umbrella kit that gets rid of the ball joints, but that's about $6 grand. So this thing ain't gonna be racing for a while. I'm also gonna try to get him to interview, but it's really hard to do it without Dad here, because Dad has to force him and say he can't drive until he interviews. So we'll see how long it takes. All right, what are you working on? Well, he won't interview, but he is flushing the coolant out of the motor that we're going into the one that's going into the car, just so that we know, make sure everything's nice and clean inside there. All right, Dad is here and Elvis is here. We got some front tires put on this thing, and we're getting some nitrogen thrown in the front shocks. Dad already swapped that part, and so he should be going to run this thing. I'm trying to convince him to let me go ride with him, but we'll see. Okay, how did testing Harpo go?
Like a kung fu ninja.
Okay, Dad, how did testing go?
Listen, I'm the greatest thing there ever is. You know what I mean? I wake up and I piss excellence in the morning.
Is that why the car's broke? Okay, Dad, how did testing go?
I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
Okay, Dad, how did testing go? Okay, Dad.
We're pretty good, okay?
Okay, how did testing go?
Listen, let me tell you. It went okay, Tanner.
Okay, how did testing
Fuck,
go?
we're trying to fucking make a YouTube clip.
We're trying to be YouTube famous! Did you ever do
Okay, how did
I got all of them out.
Okay, Dad, how did testing go?
It went pretty good. I think we got some clutching issues we got to take care of. Suspension felt way better in the front. I think now it's affecting the rear, so we're going to kind of tune that just a little bit more, and then clean the clutches up, put it back together. We'll make one more run, make sure she's dialed in, then we'll dress her up.
Ellis, what are you doing over here?
Hey, what are you having? That's a shout out to Theo Papi. Hey, you gotta leave that in there. It's perfect. We'll shout him out. Maybe he'll shout us out.
Okay, Ellis, what are you doing?
Okay, so we're getting the.
Okay, Ellis, what are you doing over here?
We're getting ready to pull the engine out of this here one car. It's got a couple little things left over. We got to pull the bell housing bolts, and this thing's ready to come out. Damn. Can't ever do a good interview because everybody's yelling. Anyways, before I was so rudely interrupted by the shenanigans in the shop, it's insane. But yeah, we're getting ready to pull it out. All the fluids are drained out of it. Had a bunch of glitter in the oil, which is never good. Yeah, we should have this out in the next few minutes or so. To get this thing out.
Yeah, we're about to pull it out. Hey, listen, shout out to our boy Edgar, SW, in the hood. He blew his whole hand off, rolling the razor. Almost lost 3 of his fingers. You know what I'm saying?
He was so disappointed that I said he had the wrists of a 5-year-old that he said, I'm just going to take it clean off.
Just cut it right off. Take the whole hand off.
You know we don't need only 3 fingers. Just 1 finger.
I'll put his x-rays up, not the actual one, because the actual one will get us taken down, but I'll put the x-ray.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
I'm not leaving the.
Bell housing
I'm not
bolts
taking the
tight,
bell housing
too.
bolts out. You're gonna take it out and just gonna go like that?
What I'm saying is you could take all that bracketry and shit off, then hook your shit up.
What you're saying is you need to stay the out my motherfucking business, player. Fuck.
Okay, I got the 2 skid plates off. There would have been a third one, but someone decided to rip it off on Sunday, so we got to make a new one of those.
All one piece.
What do you mean?
That front skid plate was all one piece. The front section that you guys are talking about is all one piece. Papa cut it off.
Well, he ripped the front of it off.
It was dangling.
Yeah, he ripped it off. Pop's working on his bumper. He was sitting on his phone for like 30 minutes, but they're getting ready to pull this motor. All right, Dad, what are you doing over here?
Well, listen, we're gonna go ahead and pull this LS power plant out. You know what I mean? She's got excessive blow by, and it's not good. We got to get it out, get it to the builder so he could tear it down and get us some horsepower. You know what I'm saying?
All right, what did you find on Harper's car?
Maybe some spark plug issues, maybe a little clutch glazing, and we're gonna throw an air filter in there, get her cleaned up, get her like a, you know what I mean?
There's a lot of loud noises over here. Oh,
Don't look over here.
oh, look! He's already leaking fluid all over the ground.
Simmer down now. Hey, listen, ain't no thing, ain't no sweat on my back. Hey, listen, we're just gonna pick it back up, put it back to work, okay?
Pop's got his middle bar tacked on for the Blue Razor. Motor's ready to go on. I gotta clean it up a little bit more. And then they got the 1 car motor out and just checking some things. But motor's out, and then it'll go up on some 12-ton jack stands and start getting all the suspension torn down. We should have the parts for this tomorrow. We're gonna have my brother buy him at his work. This thing, I think we're gonna work on it tomorrow as well, because we got 11 days until the DP4 race. So we don't really have that much time before these gotta go racing. So on the Blue Razor, we gotta get the motor in, the rear bumper and spare figured out, and then some front lights, or just lights in general. And then this thing should be good. We also have to figure out wheels and tires for this thing. And then for Harpo's car, we just gotta figure out that front pod a little bit. And then hopefully those new parts will fix that issue. Maybe redo those rear shocks, and it should be good to go. Okay, so it is currently Wednesday night. I got the new air filter, spark plugs, and that stuff in on Harpo's car. I got a new oil filter on this motor and some new spark plugs in it as well. Then I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna get all the mud and the oil grime and all that cleaned off that the frame of it, so that we could set that new motor in and start getting it all bolted up. Okay, so we got the rear frame cleaned up for the most part. Got that motor thrown in. All the motor mounts tight and the clutches aligned. Got the throttle body on, all the connectors on. All the coolant lines connected. Now we just need to throw some coolant in there. Get the exhaust on, so there are 2 sensors there. We should be able to fire this thing up. All right, well, Dad won't help record, so you guys sit on the tripod. So you guys just saw that it took a little bit, and we have some kind of draw from the battery, so we had to get a jump pack on it. But we're gonna throw a battery charger on it. The motor runs decent. At least we gotta wait and get it all back together the rest of the way to make sure. But it runs. It started and it ran, so that's good. We're gonna clean up these tools, put a battery charger on it. We should be able to get this thing thrown together and maybe go run it tomorrow, depending on how far Pop gets with his bumper.
Tanner, what we got going on over here?
Well, we were trying to put the inner clutch cover on and the bolt broke, so we're gonna try to weld a little nut on there and see if we can't get it out.
Dang it. I stole Tanner's camera today. We're gonna do a little clutch service on this here car. And I'm about to pull apart this front end to try to see why this thing is towed so messed up. Let me try to get it aligned and get that wheel leaned back in. This thing got its new heart. It's got it running already. Hopefully it'll be back on its own weight soon.
Okay, well, we didn't really get much done tonight because we ran into some issues. So on the Blue RZR, that broken bolt is because we don't have the right size bolts for this new motor. So I got to go tomorrow and get bolts for that, and that can go back together. I did, however, pull off that front right shock because it is leaking. I got this shock on and this side ready to go. You got to tie up some wiring for the engine, and then we got to try to find the right puller for Harpo's primary clutch, because we cannot, the ones we have here, we don't have the right ones, so we got to go out to the automotive shop and grab some of those as well. But they did get the front end pulled apart and readjusted how it needed to be so that it was actually sitting, the tires were sitting good and somewhat aligned, and then maybe we'll take it out to the automotive shop and get those aligned. But we really didn't get much done today. But we have a plan of what we need to get so that we can get them done and hopefully go run both these cars on Sunday. Okay, it is Friday night. I got the bolts I need. I'm gonna start throwing this thing together. So let's get this motor and transmission alignment plate all the way back in, and then we can start putting the clutch cover on. Okay, it is now Friday night. Got all the clutch stuff back together. We got the shock on, all the ducting for the belt and all that stuff done. Pop came out here. He has his rear cage all welded up. Added his 2 crossbars. That's also probably where a number plate's gonna go. And he has to add 2 more bars from there down to the bottom. But that will be at least good for testing. And then the front shock still needs to be rebuilt because it was leaking. So my dad's gonna rebuild that. I believe Pop's gonna be working on making a aluminum skid plate because my brother ripped it off at the Legacy race. And then throw some wheels and tires on this thing and go run it and see what it does with this new motor. I've also just been kind of messing around out here, and I made a little headlamp mount that goes into a GoPro mount. So I'm gonna put a little GoPro mount on the front of my helmet, and then this will just slide right into it for like night races. My dad's been giving me crap because he said he's been racing for 20 something years and always just used a flashlight at night races, but if I have the stuff to make it, why not make it easier on everybody? So I'm gonna make one for me and one for whoever my rider's gonna be, because we're gonna be the ones racing at night. So got one more to make of that, just because, well, we have downtime. But hopefully tomorrow we can get skid plates thrown on, shock rebuilt, some wheels thrown on this, and hopefully go drive this tomorrow. We are still running into an issue with Harpo's primary clutch where it is actually stuck on to the car. So it's kind of like seized on there. We don't know if it's from just sitting for a while or something happened internally in there, but that is seized on, so we're trying to get that off. But besides that, this thing's pretty much ready to go. You might rebuild those shocks one more time if you can figure out what's going on with the, it's almost like a turbo delay to it. So we believe it's that belt, and then he did all the other things, but we need to get that clutch off to service it and go run it and see what it's doing. All right, it is Friday night. I threw that front right shock back on, just so we can go run it, make sure this motor's doing what it's supposed to. Did a full nut and bolt check of the whole car. Found a couple like semi-loose bolts, so we tightened those up, relocked at them. Everything's good to go with that. Timmer's down at O'Reilly's getting some rib nuts so we can run all the same bolts throughout that skid plate, and then that should be good to go. We're gonna throw some wheels and tires on this thing, and we should be able to go run it tonight. Pop also got his lower bars for the rear bumper on it. And then Dad actually just went and took this out and broken a new belt. And then he should be going and taking it out for a somewhat fast loop here in a second, just to make sure it did everything it's supposed to. So I'll record if he does that or if something happens before that.